I'm awaking in the morning to a big design. That big old sun is taking its time. 'Cause there's something weird going on around here. Every time it comes out, it just disappears. So I roll up my sleeves and I jump right in. Dark matter coming on me again. Dark matter coming on me again. Well, now let me guess. I can figure it out. You put a ship in the bottle and I can't get it out. The eye of a needle and a 2x4. Seems like nothing really fits together anymore. It's a mess. I don't know what to do, dark matter. I'm depending on you, dark matter. Yeah, I'm depending on you. Well, now Paul Revere did a midnight ride, meeting Emma Goldman by the riverside. It was almost a great and a glorious day, wouldn't that have been something? But they couldn't remember what they were supposed to say, at least he couldn't. So they took out their guitars and they started to sing. Dark matter getting into everything. The dark matter, yeah, getting into everything. Well, now Stephen Hawking said to Neil deGrasse, you know, this theoretical stuff is a pain in the ass. Says Neil, well, what are you trying to say? Steve says, well, I'll get back to you later today. You know, it's just that it would make more sense if dark matter would just get off the fence. Dark matter. Yeah, it just needs to get off the fence. One more time. Take it easy now. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't there. Dark matter everywhere. Dark matter everywhere. Wait till the song comes. Well, I fell in love with a friend of mine. She was a walking on a tightrope line. I was crawling on my hands and knees. We bumped into each other, said, excuse me, please, there goes the Fremont Bridge. Check it out. Do I know you? Was this meant to be, or is this just dark matter messing around with me? Dark matter. Yeah, messing around with me. So I took a leap and I went so high. I blew a hole right through the sky. And I swam like a fish in ethereal brine. So I left the whole damn solar system behind. You ask me why I'm leaving? Well, I'll try to make it clear there's just too much dark matter around here. Dark matter. Yeah, there's just too much of it around here. Yes. Dark matter. Get me out of here. Let's go flying around now. Look out. one more time. I think we'll get going a little bit smoother now. There's always a bump or two in the road when you start out. But when the good rains finally came, we stood out under cover. I watched the dry earth drink it up like a long lost love. We opened up our senses to let it in. Felt so good to feel that way again. And if you love the water, let it rain. Let it wash away your pain. There are reasons to explain. If you love the water, let it rain. A long time ago when the world was young, innocent life beneath the summery sun, desert flowers in the wild plantain, waiting for the weather to bring the rain. And if you love the water, let it rain. Let it wash away your pain. There are reasons to explain. If you love the water, let it rain. Time is such a fleeting thing. You know it comes and it goes. It ebbs and flows. Waterfalls and rainbows. And if you love the water, let it rain. Let it wash away your pain. There are reasons to explain. If you love the water, let it rain. There was a time we kept ourselves apart, surrounded by the dryness in our hearts. Life is a natural mystery, they say. So I guess we'll just let nature have its way. And if you love the water, let it rain. Let it wash away your pain. There are reasons to explain. If you love the water, let it rain. If you love the water, There's a hole in the air where the wind blows through. A hole in the air and it looks like you. Nobody knows where you go when you go way out there. Way out there, through a hole in the air. There's a hole in the air where the wind blows through. A hole in the air and it looks like you. Nobody knows where you go when you go way out there. Way out there, through a hole in the air. She had a good life. She was the pride of her hometown. And her dreams came true like dreams will do, and they don't let you down. She had a true love, as true as love will be. And her lifelines were intertwined for all the world to see. Now there's a hole in the air where the wind blows through. A hole in the air and it looks like you. Nobody knows where you go when you go way out there. Way out there, through a hole in the air. Yes, and there were times when there were times. And the seasons passed through window glass. They became best friends and the planets rolled around a great revolving wheel. Circumference of that kind of love is something to reveal. And there's a hole in the air where the wind blows through. A hole in the air and it looks like you. Nobody knows where you go when you go way out there. Way out there, to a hole in the air. Oh, and if I was a raindrop and I fell into the sea, you'd know where I had gone, but you would never find me. And we dance to celebrate, and we sing to tell a tale. Oh, remembering the things we bring along the crooked trail, stumbling brilliant. We are necessary fools. The diamonds and the tears, they all look like jewels, and there's a hole in the air where the wind blows through. A hole in the air and it looks like you. Nobody knows where you go when you go way out there. Way out there, to a hole in the air. And there's a hole in the air when the wind blows through. There's a hole in the air and it looks like you. Nobody knows where you go when you go way out there. Way out there, to a hole in the air. Yes. There it goes again. Fremont Bridge. This is the place to be, let me tell you. I hope you can hear okay out there. This song goes out to all my friends in Eugene, Oregon, where I will be doing a concert on the 7th, which I believe is the next coming up Friday, at the fabulous Tsunami Books, where I was going to say all dogs are welcome, but that's not quite right. But, you know, if you live in Seattle, so Eugene is just down the road, man. You know, and if you're down there in Eugene, you can walk to it. So, that's it right there. So I'm going to do this song for my Eugene friends. About a little road trip that some of us used to take. Look at that thing go up. That Fremont Bridge. It's open and wide, man. You can jump right in. A little boat goes by. Underneath that bridge, Godzilla could walk through that bridge. There's plenty of room. Here it comes. It's sailing down the waterway. Sailing down the waterway. It's going down the waterway. All the way, the waterway. All the way out to sea. Yeah, it's gonna go through the Ballard Locks. Going through the Ballard Locks. Yeah, going through the Ballard Locks. All the way out to sea. Now it looks like a Coast Guard boat. Looks like a Coast Guard boat. Well, I could be wrong, I could be right. I'll find out later on tonight. It's a Coast Guard boat. And they're waving as they go. They got that radar thing on top. And they're waving saying hello, but they don't stop. Oh, they like people that play guitar, but they're going too far. Pull on over. And the bridge is going down now. Bridge is going down now. Bridge is going down now. They're going out to sea somehow. The bridge is going down now. And it's a beautiful day by the water. Beautiful day by the water, yes it is. It's a beautiful day when the water swims all around. The water swims all the way out to sea. Well, now the car's cast up and I'm ready to roll. I got one eye open for the highway patrol. I got the other eye open for the freeway sign. 300 miles and I'm making good time. That's how far it is from Seattle to Eugene. Generally, basically speaking, 300 miles. My stomach's growling, but my head's been fed. Going down to Eugene to see the great fool dead. Ain't that right? Or it was right anyway. Tape deck blowing out a rattling sound. In a sympathetic rhythm to the wheel go round. Sports cars he may have a line. This thing don't do more than 55. But I can sleep in the back. Is a roadside bed going down to Eugene to see the great fool dead. Well, now everybody needs a little break sometimes. Life gets too precise. Put a little twist in the old straight line and take some strange advice. Well, I'm rolling into town of all eyes and ears. Look at all those people I haven't seen in years. Hey, how you doing? Tripped out hipsters, a rag and bone. Young neophytic tie-dye, cellular telephone. Sister Selena and her Uncle Fred are going down to Eugene to see the great fool dead. I remember those days. I remember those days living that way. Going on down, getting off the freeway, it's a hairpin turn. If you're riding in a Volkswagen bus, you know, there's one thing you gotta learn is how fast you can take a hairpin turn. Going around on two wheels, it feels like this, just like. Yeah, that's what it's like when you go two wheels and you wind up on four. Just a nick of time. And then you go inside. 40,000 people in a great big bowl. They're all rocking to the rhythm of the roll. Yes, they are. Some are falling in love, some are counting their money. Some are spinning in circles with their eyes get funny. Oh, but isn't that just about the way they said I'm going down to Eugene to see the great fool dead. I'm going out into the parking lot, I might get lost. Best place in the world to get your wires crossed. The reality shatters when you leave and shout. Some people go in and they never get out. Never been the same since my senses fled. I'm going down to Eugene to see the Grateful Dead. Yeah, everybody needs a little break sometimes. Life is too precise. Put a little twist in the old straight line and take some strange advice. Now you can take my work, we can throw it away. I'll put a penny in a parking meter any day. Hang up a phone bill and let it fade. Landlord's gonna have to wait to get paid. 'Cause I ain't got no use for your overhead. I'm going down to Eugene to see the Grateful Dead. And my stomach's growling, but my head's been fed. Going down to Eugene to see the Grateful Dead. That's right. One more time off the freeway. Here we go. Never knew my father could sing. I never heard a note. He was an engineer with a slide rule and a shop coat. Poetry was not in his nature, nor whimsy his forte. I didn't know my father could sing until I heard him sing one day. He was 91 years old when we were shooting the breeze about the times when people listen to different melodies. And there was one in particular that had a certain kind of swing. He sat up a little straighter in his chair and he began to sing. And there was Lily Marlene and a bicycle built for two, and they moved on down to the orchard town in Mountain View. Sometimes they sang out loud when there was no one around. It was a great big world, and it just kept spinning round. You know, funny thing is, back in the day before all our tables were turned, I was the one trying to sing a song that I just learned. And he was looking at me like I was a fool, and maybe I was. 'Cause I just kept going, and that's what a fool does. And I was yelling at him, and he was yelling at me, and I couldn't hear, and he couldn't see. And I slammed the door, and I was gone. And 50 years later, he's singing me a song. Well, he's gone now, out to where all of us will go, past the walls and the bridges of the goodbye hello. But for all of the songs and the way I do what I do, I think I understand a little bit better now. This one's for you. 'Cause there was Lily Marlene and a bicycle built for two, and they went on down to the orchard town, and they had a kid or two. And sometimes they sang out loud when there was no one around. It was a great big world, and it just kept spinning round. It was a great big world, and it just kept spinning round. That's right. It's such a beautiful day out here. You have no idea. I hope you're okay wherever you are. whatever you're up to. It's a Sunday, you know? At least here in Seattle town it is. The rain in the morning, the bright afternoon, the days of our lives are over too soon. The ripples of incident horizon fall. There's so much to know, you can't measure it all. Away to the city, somewhere that I find a way out of this great big impossible bind. An old man with a dog, a woman in a chair. You never know what you'll find till you get there. The eyes of tomorrow, the arrow of time. If you can't take it with you, you leave it behind. Like a jewel in the ocean or wash in the brine, as seen through the green tea of your mind. She said if I could just get up away and fly, I'd write my name like a bird in the sky. He said the sky isn't big enough for what you have to say, and you speak your own language anyway. It was a good time for music, and they found a little bar where there were people in the mix and whiskey in the jar, and the music was medicine for the way that you feel, and maybe that's how we all have to heal. The eyes of tomorrow, the arrow of time. If you can't take it with you, you leave it behind. Like a jewel in the ocean or wash in the brine, as seen through the green tea of your mind. Some people have everything laid out on a platter. Some people don't care, and what does it matter? You look up to your burden or you turn tail and run. It's the hand that you're dealt, and everyone gets one. You did a lot of drinking in your way back when, and one of these days you might do it again. But for now it's the green tea that suits you just right. Away in the morning, good luck and good night. The eyes of tomorrow, the arrow of time. If you can't take it with you, you leave it behind. Like a jewel in the ocean or wash in the brine, as seen through the green tea of your mind.
Folks are really digging it.
Oh, cool.
Mark Henny's on.
Great big world I just
Says
played.
hi. And, okay, cool. Kate Hamill wanted to hear Gasworks Park.
Okay, I could do that.
What if we should do? I'm gonna get my zoom lens and get the top of Gasworks Park for that song. No, I'm not. This is a phone. So,
You know, I could do the Great Big World again, but you'd have to wait a little bit.
yeah, that's okay.
But I just did that song. It's bent now.
I know, that's because
I knocked it over probably.
You didn't pick it up and let's not go there. All right, it sounded really good.
Good. So Kate Hamill wants to Gasworks Park. Okay, would you do me a favor? In my guitar bag is a little metal box that has finger picks in it, which I need. If I brought them, I hope I brought them. There they are. Along come the box with the picks inside, walking real steady, striding real wide. Along comes the box with the picks inside, and I'm gonna use them for a song. Now there's a red flat pick, it's a bright, bright red, a red flat pick. It'll fit your head, it'll play real good, play real strong. You don't want it to go where it don't belong, and there's a thinner pick. The other one's kind of thick, but that's a Fender. That's the one I'm using now. That's my go-to pick. And there's a thumb pick. It's a thumb pick. It's a drum pick. The drum pick. It's the one pick that you put in your thumb. And there's the boats again. The rowing boats. The rowing boats ain't slowing. Don't no telling where they're going. They can't wave. They're rowing. Hands on the rowing oars. And there's a finger. There's a CD. And if you have, there's a CD with a guy on the front that looks like me. And if you haven't got it yet, you can get it right now. You could go to my Bandcamp page. Go to Bandcamp. Afterwards. Yeah, don't go now. Afterwards. You're right. Afterwards. I'm easy to find, and so is that. Ooh, and there's a great big boat barreling down on the canoers. Look at that. That's a yacht. Yacht. I almost forgot to bring my yacht. I always come down here without my yacht. God damn it, I almost forgot my yacht. All them oars. This or that, or the other one doing the s'mores all over your oars. There they are going out. Going to Ballard on the oar boat and the yacht that I almost forgot. And then the bridges are coming down after going up. All it does is go up and come down. There's a bridge tender in there. If that was an imaginary bridge, it would be a bridge pretender. Up there in the drawbridge. Terence is over there drawing right now. He's a visual kind of a guy, and that's the drawbridge. He's going to draw the drawbridge. Oh, and look at that little thing there. It's a flat top kind of a, what would you call that? Garden party boat? And this is a sailboat. Sailboat. Now sailors will be on a motorboat, but motors won't be on a sailboat. Ain't that weird? Ain't that funny? The world's just like that. It's porous. So I'm going to do Gasworks Park, and I got to put this flat foot down and get myself ready to do that song. Okay. I'll put, here we go. This, and this. Okay. Okay. And I gotta use a special capo for this, too. Hold on now. Got them right here. Sub mix. A lot of people like the Kaisers. I don't like the Kaisers because they got too much stuff sticking all over the place. Can't get your hand around where you want to get your hand around. These stay out of the way. You know, it takes a couple of seconds longer to put it on. Is that so bad? A couple of seconds. Kaisers are fast. It's a lazy kick. These are a little bit more, you know, gotta pay attention. There it is right there. Oh boy. you ever do, if you're from outside of Seattle, somewhere else, like maybe let's say Belfast, and you want to come to Seattle, you got to go to Gasworks Park. Among other things, Gasworks Park is a beautiful place. It was designed by 3 out-of-work architects. One of them was a friend of mine. His name was Paul Pierce. Paul passed away a few years ago. Left a big hole, he did. So I always think of Paul when I do this song. Gasworks Park. Early in the evening, go walking in the park in the evening, do a little talking in the dark of the evening, just she and me. See the way the moon flies like a kite up in the night skies, shine upon the Gasworks Park by the Union Sea. Oh, there's a sham in the water says don't go in the water. There's something in the water that they don't want you to get on your skin. Oh, but the lights of the city make it look so pretty. And one of these days we're gonna leave the city behind. There is little to be what it appears to be. It's an illusory situation. You can do anything, be anyone, and get your mind undone. It's a simple equation, and it's a tiny spark in the Gasworks Park. Oh, in the town that I was born in, well, they got up every morning, came home in the evening, and it was always the same. Could have followed in the footsteps, I don't know why I didn't, but something in my thinking wouldn't allow me to jump on that train. And there is little to be what it appears to be. It's an illusory situation. You can do anything, be anyone, and get your mind undone. It's a simple equation, and it's a tiny spark in the Gasworks Park. We go walking in the park in the evening, do a little talking in the dark of the evening, just she and me.
Up to the
Yeah.
there's some artist that
An
I
artist?
don't know, he seems like kind of a savant, and he was drawing pictures of you. And I said, you know, where's your
Yeah.
website? Where's your card? This is Google property. We're very fussy about that. And he said he was waiting to hear some things, but he'd like to say hi.
Hey, friend.
Hey, what's up?
Is this your stuff? Your work here?
You need any promo drawings? Yeah, I need like a promo burger.
You need a promo burger?
Yeah,
So
I want to go to Spud's for fish and chips. So
okay.
I'm plugging them.
You're kind of a little short on cash, probably.
Yeah, well, their dumpster is usually full of chips. I'm telling you, and I don't see anybody throwing away the fish though.
Mm-mm.
And I kind of wish I.
Oh, look at those! Those are good. Show some of those to the
I've
camera,
been,
man.
I've
Those
been
are
scaling the guitar against the human form for
Yeah.
about 40 years, and there's a ruler right there.
Right.
Is that a cut capo, huh?
that's a cut capo, exactly.
Yes, okay.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I wondered how you got that sort of odd separation. Yeah, it's not E-A-D-G, is it? A up to B, G up to E. That's a B. That's a B major. This town is pretty amazing. It's got the most beautiful joggers and some of the most desperate-looking homeless people I've ever seen in my life, and the best food. I don't know what to say.
It's a mixture of things, isn't it?
It's an odd.
It's got some really loud, low-flying airplanes as well, I've noticed.
I bought my first legal weed the day they busted 5 pounds of fentanyl. So I think I am a good luck charm. That's like 1,000 people alive. Easily. Maybe 500,000. They could kill
Yeah.
Seattle with all that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's enough to kill Seattle.
That's gnarly stuff, isn't it?
Well, it's gnarly and we make it. Somebody manufactures that shit. Chemists. Uranium should be kept in the ground and buried with capitalism. These are joggers and stuff too. The U.S. Coast Guard is featured. Some of the skulls. The blue skull is featured. This girl that came by with the green pack and the pink hair, she was beautiful. And there's a lady in here videotaping supine.
Videotaping?
Yeah, there's a picture of your technician.
This is about 15 minutes more songs, and so 3 or 4 more songs. And then we can talk to this gentleman. What's your name?
My name is Terence Keenan.
Terence Keenan.
I'm from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania.
Waynesburg.
Rather forgotten part of the coal field.
Waynesburg, Pennsylvania.
Warren Jacobs was from. J. Warren Jacobs. 1906 birdhouse.
No one's going to be able to hear you unless you talk into the microphone.
Yeah.
You got to be over here near the microphone.
I'm from Waynesburg.
Not that close.
I'm
But
from,
you know what I'm saying.
I'm from Waynesburg. Matt Anthony Wayne, you know, the great bloodletter.
Mad Anthony?
Syphilic Indian killer. We're going to try to change the name back to Eden. It was nice. I'm going to go take a walk and do some more drawing, but you sound great.
Nice to meet you, Terence.
Nice meeting you.
Come on back. I'll just do a couple more and say 4 more songs. I think I was given the green light for 5 more songs. I can do 6 more songs, no worry. So I'll do 7 or 8 more songs, and that's going to be a couple of weeks there, Katie. Get it back where it was there. I don't know who those people were, but we're going to keep on going. She lives in a stolen car down by the river. maybe my stolen car. And if it was, I'd probably forgive her. She comes from Iowa or maybe Tennessee. Wound up stranded, don't you see? Oh, don't you see? Stranded in a stranded town. Money is as money does, and that's the reason why the windows all get dirtier when somebody like her passes by. It's a duality of opposites in this part of town. Everything is either shiny new or else it's broken down. It's broken down. Stranded in a stranded town. My hands are cleaner than the hands of some of theirs. However, the dirt is in the system and it's everywhere. And there is no antiseptic that will do this kind of dirt. We're gonna have to amputate and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Stranded in a stranded town. Storm clouds are coming, rain is pouring down. There ain't no place to stay dry in this part of town. The water seeks its own level. It's that level where we drown. Stranded in a stranded town. In between the mirrors of success and blind ambition, is there anybody accountable, or is it just a random imposition? We honor them with canned wool or bury them in landfills. We bury them in landfills beyond the shadows of our doubt. We honor them with candles. Stranded in a stranded town. True story. I'm from California, you know, originally. way down yonder way. And I learned to play guitar down there in the 60s. Started about 1965. Man, that was before running water was invented. And one of the places I played in a lot was and learned a lot in, my first exposure really to this kind of music, was a coffee house in a little town called Saratoga, 50 miles south of San Francisco, right there in the elbow of the Santa Cruz Mountains. A little place called the Brass Knocker, and there was a guy there named Billy Dean Andres that I used to come see, come listen to. Billy got famous for being a good player and being hard to hold down. That sounds pretty good. Come over a little closer. Well, maybe she will, maybe she won't. We'll see what happens here. Song about Billy and how he dealt with the draft. Wild electric eyeball and his cigarette machine, he could play that old guitar like no man you ever seen. He was a southern, he was central, he was easy, he was mean. He was Saratoga Billy, and they called him Billy Dean. He could sound the strings like silver, or a dead man in the shade. And it's many a lonesome midnight soul that came to where his song he played. He was a rambler and a gambler, and you could not tie him down. As well they do remember in that Saratoga town. One fine day a letter came from the army that did say, we'd like to make a man of you in the old American way. So he got all of his things together and he rode off down the track. Oh, but 3 weeks later, Billy Dean was he stayed away so very long, in trouble deep he grew. And his friends, they all got nervous, there was nothing he would do. Until one day they found him playing his guitar. They put the handcuffs on him, they took him away in a government car. While working on the highway, on the stockade crew, he saw a car of people that was only passing through. He waved an arm to signal, and they stopped to let him in. And when the guard turned his head around, Billy Dean was gone again. Well, then the army fathers, well, they all got so mad at Saratoga Billy, who had done bad. They puffed and they sputtered, and they almost lost their minds. For in Saratoga country, Billy Dean was hard to find. Well, it's been many years now since I seen him last, and I just don't have the time to spend on the past. Oh, but sometimes I wonder, yes, and sometimes I think, when it's late in the evening, or I've had too much to drink, wild electric eyeball and his cigarette machine, he could play that old guitar like no man you ever seen. He was southern, he was central, he was easy, he was mean. He was Saratoga Billy, and they called him Billy Dean. Saratoga Billy, they call Billy Dean. That's a true story. I just said that's a true story. Oh, yes. Couple more songs. Whoa, there's the airplane. Oh, my goodness. You could probably hear that thing going overhead, you know what I'm saying? I'll do a couple more songs for you here, and then we'll sign off. Song about Jim Hines. You might remember Jim Hines. Peter McKee just showed up. My psychotherapist. Taking my picture right now just to make sure that I'm living up to his expectations. Actually, everybody that shows up is either my psychotherapist or my barber, depending on how long or short their hair is. Jim, I don't think Jim ever played on this stretch of property. Jim was always out there at the Pike Place Market. Jim was a Vietnam Navy veteran that I met at Murphy's Open Mic 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Man, long time ago. He was wearing a suit. He had real short hair. He was doing Puff the Magic Dragons. All three of those things were like, something I had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? But he was unavoidably friendly. He wanted to talk to me, wanted to say hello. He was selling used cars. And everything was just fine until one day, I guess he said the wrong thing to the right person at the wrong time. Because what it was that he told me, because he had PTSD, you see. And the way he had PTSD meant he would tell you the truth whether you wanted to hear it or not. And this young couple came in one day and they were looking at a station wagon. And the boss man was sitting in there looking through the window. And all he could see was dollar signs. Jim goes out there to help them. Now this was a young couple with a baby on the way, right? So what's he supposed to do if he knows something that would help them out? He's gonna tell them, isn't he? You would tell him, wouldn't you? But that's what Jim did. He leaned in a little bit closer and he said, "You don't want this car. This car's gonna throw a rod. I can hear it right now. Transmission's gonna go out on the Aurora Bridge, right in the middle of traffic. It's gonna cost you a lot of money and break your heart. You don't want this car." And they said, "Thank you very much, Mr. Hine. Can you recommend anything on this lot?" "Well, I don't think so, not right now anyway." And they said, "Thank you very much," and they walked off. Boss man came out and asked him what happened, and Jim told him. And that's when Jim started playing them open mics. Because, you know. Anyway, the story goes on from there. I won't tell you the whole thing. That's just how we met. He played down at the market for 20 years. He died, left a big hole. 400 people came. He blocked off the street down there. Built a stage on a flatbed truck, sound system and everything. People talked about him, sang his songs. Well, I'm going to stop talking now. I'm just going to sing. This is called Jim's song. And I sing this song because you got to understand that sometimes when you see somebody out there singing on the street, it's not just somebody singing on the street. It's somebody putting their kids through school, paying their rent, telling their stories about where the world went, time went. Their life, my life, and your life goes like this. First time he came to Seattle, he was riding in a boxcar. He was a little bit disheveled. He didn't even have his guitar. Vietnam was in the mirror. He was trying to make it fade. Just another lost soul in life's forlorn parade. Next time he came to town, he was wearing a clean pair of pants. And he was not alone this time, for life had taken quite a chance. He had a wife and family, children, one and two. They were gonna make a go of it, that's what they were gonna do. And the wheel goes round, round. The sun goes up and down. And you'll know when it's time to settle down. So he wore his best dress and he showed up to work on time. And she got the kids to school and they saved up every dime. They had pancakes with water for supper and cigarettes for tea. Life was good, just the way it ought to be. Yeah, but still there was that edge that just would not blunt. His tongue could be a razor whether he wanted it to or not. They say the truth will set you free, but it'll also get you fired, and that's when you got inspired. And the wheel goes round, round. The sun goes up and down, and you'll know when it's time to settle down. So he took out his guitar and he went downtown and he started to sing. And his voice got strong. He took out his guitar and he went downtown and started to sing. And autumn turned into winter, winter turned into spring. And his voice got stronger and the songs began to soar. And he found what he was looking for. sang about politics and he sang about love. There was nothing so low down that a song could not rise above. And he sang to make you laugh, and he sang to make you cry. And he sang because a song could not tell a lie. And the wheel goes round, round. The sun goes up and down. And you'll know when it's time to settle down. Then one day America went to war against Iraq. And every nightmare he ever had came back. For every veteran of every foreign war, there just was no sleeping anymore. And when the streets filled up with people, he was out there too. He did everything he could think of to do. Sometimes he even thought he could stop it with a song. He could just get everybody to sing along. Yeah, but history is a cannonball and it just keeps rolling. And you can't unring that bell when that bell starts tolling. And there's only so much that anyone can take. We just didn't know how hard his heart would actually break. And the wheel goes round, round. The sun goes up and down. And you'll know when it's time to settle down. He came a long way from that dirty boxcar to a wife and a family and a song and a guitar. From being an anonymous shadow on a downtown street to being somebody that almost anybody would want to meet. Somebody said, and it's the word of the wise, you can mourn if you have to, but you better organize. Sharpen up your tongue to come out swinging, because you never know when you might have to start singing. And the world goes round, round. The sun goes up and down. And you'll know when it's time to settle down. Yes, the world goes round, round. The sun goes up and down. And you'll know when it's time to settle down. Settle down. Settle down. So I'm going to finish up with one more song here for everybody out there. Thank you for hanging, coming out here to the beautiful Fremont Canal, where the rowing championships were going on by, and the music and the bicycles. Oh yes, and I have a Patreon page. That's right, Seattle Jim page. Patreon.com, Seattle Jim page, and you find me right there. And that's how you can keep arts going, arts like this going when they take funding away, and you know, you're not living in another country, you're living in this one. Oh, and look what's coming by here. Take a look. Watch this now. Hope it stays in focus. You never know about these things. You know, yeah, there's some of the relevant information. Relevant relatives, a relevant relative, an elephant's relative. That would be a good name for a band, actually. Patreon thing, well, the Patreon thing is all together. It just has to be notified to people, and people have to know about it.
Tell us a bit,
What it is? What it is? Patreon, well, just like the name suggests, it's a way of being a patron of the arts, of myself for a specific. A lot of people have them. Tom Rush has a Patreon page. Neil deGrasse Tyson has a Patreon page. A lot of people do because it's what you have to do sometimes to keep going. So the people that like what you do, like, let's just say you like what I do, you help keep me going by committing to donate a certain amount a month.
Like, how much is too much and how much is not enough?
Too much might be $475,813,000
Right.
and
But
17
somebody
cents.
can do $5 a month.
They could do
$10.
$5 a month. Yeah, they could do $3 a month. The way I set it up, you choose what you want to put in there a month. You know?
So they go to the site of Patreon and then they do the / in your name, Seattle Jim Page.
Yeah, right. Backslash. Yeah, go to
Does it matter?
patreon.com.
Does it matter the capital letters or anything?
I don't think that matters. I don't think
Okay.
the capital letters matter. A hill
Are
of
there any
beans.
videos or anything for people to see?
There's a couple of introductory videos, and I'm going to be loading up some of the live streams that we've done here and some older stuff that I've got here pretty soon. As soon as we get.
Well, thanks a lot. There's a crowd of people over here waiting to say hi. They were like, this race is boring. We're going to say hi to this guy.
Oh, good. Okay.
That's cool. So Peter has a minute, and
Okay.
but do one more song,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do the Whidbey Island Overwater Transfer Ferry Line because this is a watery waterway, and the way from Mukilteo to Clinton and back again, Whidbey Island, where I used to live, is also a watery way. So for everybody who's ever ridden a ferry boat, this is for you, or ever driven a ferry boat. The song was written to the groove of the motor of the ferry boat, coal shaft. That's right. So thanks for hanging. See you next time. Whoa. Whoa. I was getting too relaxed.
I knew it.
I was getting relaxed there. Let's just get this back up. Let's get this stool back up and I'll do the song.
I'm going to finish it.
all
How's it go?
All right. Get the stool back up there. I think it kind of ate its way into the ground is what it did.
Stand up and do it.
No, okay. All right. Okay. We got to go like this. Okay.
I got you. You do it. Go. Okay. Really careful. Super careful.
Not that high.
Jim,
Got to get the guitar to
Jim,
her.
Just play.
Got to get the guitar to her. I know.
I'm the one who's listening, right?
Thanks for hanging, like I said, and to all of my Eugene friends. Tsunami Books, October 7th. See you there, 7:30. All them sevens, you know what I'm saying? She's coming in, cutting across the sound. And she rattles and she rumbles as she rolls, good God. She's worthy, she ain't never run aground. She got pulp putty plugging up the holes, good God. She's a mighty bit unsteady, and she coughs when she gets cold. But she's well put together. All the better when she gets old. She runs on bourbon and boiler steam, and it suits her just fine. She's the Whidbey Island Overwater Transfer Ferry Line. She gets washed in the water at the cross, and she leaps and she lurches as she goes, good God. She got direction, she don't never get lost. They blindfold and lead her by the nose, good God. She gets twisted and unruly, and they try to calm her down. She's a little less than able, but she's the finest ship around. She's a mighty bit uncertain, but she's always on time. She's the Whidbey Island Overwater Transfer Ferry Line. All hail the captain at the head, for he staggers as he clutches to the rail, good God. He's knotted up the mast to make his bed. He's been on every ship that's ever been a sail, good God. He's an old salt hustler and a half-back oiler. He's a mighty bit punchy, he been gassing up the boiler. He got a full head of steam up blowing salt water brine on the Whidbey Island Overwater Transfer. All hands hit the deck out in a fog, and a tugging and a leaning on the line, good God. And she shudders as she bumps up on the logs, and a twisting and a tightening on the twine, good God. And the clanging of the chain pins and the banging of the landing. It's a miracle she made it, it's a wonder she's still standing. She could go down like a boulder, but nobody never minds. She's a Whidbey Island overwater transfer ferry line. She got a full head of steam up blowing salt water brine on the Whidbey Island overwater transfer ferry line. There it is right there. There's another one. Ferry boats all over the place. Thanks for being here. Come on down and check it out for real sometime yourself. Fremont Canal, watch the boats go by. All right, see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.